Hi there. Good evening, everybody. I want to welcome you all here to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I run this show. I am the channel guy. I'm the host. So we're here with a new Prog album. Sorry, something flew out there. New Prog album. It's going to be a little bit late tonight. It came in late. I was out most of the day, and a fantastic day it was here in Southern Ontario, or Upper Canada, as I like to call it. I don't know what the temperature was like, but I think it was in the mid 20s. That's pretty high. Anyways, I was out enjoying that, and I didn't get back till late. And then, of course, I put this video together, or I'm putting this video together. So the new prog album that we're going to be talking about today is from a band called Green Desert Tree. This is Fighting Dragons. Now, I think this might be their second or third album. Really good. This is really good. When I do my June halfway through the year top 10 albums, this is going to be right up there. Absolutely, not a doubt about it. This is released April the 24th, 2026. It's about almost 45 minutes in length, which is right at the cusp of my wheelhouse. It's perfect length. I didn't feel like it dragged on at all. Really good. So this is on the Signal Source Music record label. I guess it's probably their own label. So I believe this band is stationed in Berlin and Germany. I don't think they're a German band. They may have a German member or two in a band, but I don't think, I could be wrong. I think there's mostly Anglos here, but there are a few other people. So it's a kind of a mixed bag of people in this band, but they're stationed out of Germany. So the band consists of Sacha Geibel, or Gable, I think it's Geibel though, lead vocals, guitar, keyboards, Simon Rayner, electric and acoustic guitars, Tim Sudd on keys and backing vocals, Francesco Beccaro on bass, and Yetsin Caspi on the drums. So these guys, there's obviously other instruments on here. They don't give a list of who they are, who's playing what, and there's more than one or two people vocaling. According to this list, there's the lead vocalist, Sacha, and Tim also does backing vocals. But obviously, when you listen to it, either they've done multiple layers over that, which is at least possible, or they have other people doing backing vocals as well. A total of 6 tracks on this album in all. Great album cover. Picture of a dragon. Almost reminds me of Game of Thrones dragon. It looks like that type of dragon. It's green, of course. Makes perfect sense. So the album is called Fighting Dragons. So makes sense that you would have a green dragon on the cover, right? So 6 songs in total. Most of the stuff is between 5 and 10 minutes in length. One track's a little less than that. One of them's a little bit more, but pretty much that's the way in which it's going here as far as the lengths go. The opening track, before we get to that. So overall, I found this album multi-instrumentally layered, lots of different keyboard stuff going on, multiple keyboards at a time. They use all the range of keyboards that you can think of. There's piano, harpsichord, mellotron, organ, keyboard sounds all over the place, not dominated by synthesizers, which is good. So I find that bands that use a ton of synthesizers, unless they're doing a lot of guitar work as well, tend to sound very kind of atmospherically symphonic, right? And I don't mind that if the guitar is really good, but sometimes people are just using that to cover up everything else, right? So anyways, this band, the music is well put together. The production is excellent, very clear sounding album. Vocals are great. The harmony vocals are really good too. You've got lots of, like I said, lots of different keyboard solos and types of keyboards going on. The guitar is used. I would like to hear more guitar on the album, but overall, I still think it's pretty good. The bass is almost non-existent. I don't recall hearing much in the way of from the bass here. The drums are good. They hold the rhythm very well. Lots of catchy stuff here. I would say this album ranges from like very pastoral all the way to some pretty heavy stuff too. So excellent album. So now I'm going to talk about the individual tracks. So the opening track's called Overture. This is an instrumental. Heavy keyboard opening with a nice solo type part that's in there with that opening. The guitar, drums, pretty forward in this particular track. A nice catchy sound as well. Keyboards dominate. Parts are clear. Not too much synthesizers like I mentioned before. And a multiple types of keyboards being played throughout this track. And of course, there is a guitar, and it gets more of a riff as it goes along. It ends with a nice solo, kind of a dominant, catchy part of the song. The solo is fast, catchy, and well done. So I like this song. I gave it a 7. It's about 3, almost just under 6 minutes in length. Next track, I'll just call The Storyteller. One of 2 tracks that I gave a 9 to, and I just realized I didn't give the number that I wanted to this one. So I'll just do that because I know what that's like. So anyways, The Storyteller is one of 2 tracks I gave 9. I can't think of a single album this year that I've given 2 9s to off 2 songs on an album. This is a really good album. I would have bought it, but it's not going to come until after I'm not ready to take on anything after a certain date. So I decided I will wait until I get where I'm going. Next up is Storyteller. Like I said, this has a nice kind of a footfall part at the beginning. That's what it sounds like. It could be a drum part, but it sounds like a footfall part. Organ part, mellow, classical sound. Vocals are smooth, mellow, clear, mid-range, very pleasant sounding vocals. It's got a nice catchy little melody with some piano in the background. Really, it just makes you want to get into the song. And then you have this nice guitar sound. It comes in adding a little bit more substance to it. It doesn't sound as pastoral at this point. A multi-vocal part that sounds catchy. It's really good that they added these vocals, giving some background support to the lead vocals, which was really well done. The guitar solo was a bit bitey, a bit heavy, but catchy. Really like this song. There's nothing about this song I would change. One of the best songs I've heard from a new album this year. Next up is Talk to Me. A nice mellow piano melody, kind of an opening with a mild mid-range vocal part. He's just singing along with this piano. It's quite nice, very relaxing. This is a slow, melodic, pastoral in nature, this opening anyways. The vocals are more mid-range, clear, almost a voice-like sound, like he slowed down to almost a talking part. Very different. Backing vocals are very similar to the lead vocals, just more in the background. Keyboards and acoustic instruments, lots of classical sounds throughout this track. The harmony vocals are quite good. So they do this part where they have a bunch of harmony vocals come in and do a kind of almost a yes-like thing here. Really good, though. Really well done. The synthesizer key part solo with the melodic guitar solo together, they sound really good. It's quite nice, pretty good. It gets a bit heavier and a bit beefier and a bit rawer as the song goes along. Pretty good song. I like this one too. I also gave this a 7. So we have 3 backtracks here on the back. Actually think the back is even better than the front. So we have Fighting Dragons is next. This is the longest track on the album at a little over 11 and a half minutes in length. Nice low end keyboards, almost kind got that the keyboard part at the beginning. It almost reminds me of those old Atari games. Yeah, it's got that Atari feel to it. Kind of different. Keyboards are dominant throughout this track too. There's a percussion-like secondary sound. It's almost like a xylophone, but it doesn't sound like a xylophone. I'm not even sure what it is. Could be just sticks on, or it could just be mallets. I think it's more like a mallet. Maybe a mallet on some blocky type instrument. I'm not sure what it is. It's quite catchy though. It's a nice sound. There is also a harpsichord part in this with some vocals, very clear range, pastoral in nature though. It gets heavier. Nice electric guitar fills with some keyboards that get a little bit heavier, that kind of support this heavy guitar part. You got a nice multi-vocal part. It's thick, really good. The rhythm part with the keyboards is dominant and catchy throughout this track. It's constant. And then you have a host of multi-leveled keyboard instrumentals, and there is a lengthy space void sound. I don't even know what it is. I wouldn't say it's a keyboard or a synthesizer, but it could be both. I'm not sure. It was quite good. Gave this song an 8.5. Really solid title track. Should have been at the front, but just my opinion. Next is the High School Reunion. This is probably the weakest track on the album, but I did like it. Yeah, it's just up against better songs, that's all. Starts with a nice fast-paced multi-instrumental fill, lots of stuff going on. It slows down, gets a bit quiet with some organ in there. Mild guitar and mild drum beat. The vocals are slow, melodic, soft, clear, and very mild in its range. Then you have it does pick up tempo, multi-voice part here, or vocal part, as I've been saying. They do a lot of that. And it does kind of crescendo out at some point. And it does this a couple times. Then you got this guitar becomes heavier and beefier again. Then it crescendos out and goes back to the soft part. I think it does two like that, two different times. And that song is one of the shorter ones, just under 6 minutes. And the last track on the album is just over 7 minutes and called Broken Crown. Another 9 I gave here. So it has a violin sound at the beginning. And then as it goes along, I realized that's what it is. It is a violin. I thought maybe it was some kind of synthesizer-driven keyboard that has that violin sound, but I don't think so. I think it's a violin. Although, they could be using a violin on the keyboards here. It's very possible since nobody's listed playing the violin. That's at least a possibility here. It's really strong, very frontal, really catchy, and dominates this track. The vocals are darker, meaning they're a little bit of a darker product, like a little bit of a darker theme, I guess is a good word. Heavier, forward, kind of mid-range, but also clear. A nice catchy melody on this track. It does catchy up-tempo guitar riff that comes in. It's not too forward in the mix either, which is good because I think it could drown out some of the other instrumental parts that are interesting. Nice rhythm section, nice catchy beat. Lots of multiple instrumental stuff on this track, just flying all over the place, really. Lots of stuff. This track reminds me of the modern stick stuff, maybe off of their last album. It's got a little bit of that going on. Almost, his vocals are almost Gowan-like. Doesn't really sound like Lawrence Gowan, but maybe the way in which he presents them kind of gives that lens to that. And then you have keyboard parts are dominant, and the solo was really good on this one. Organ is tasty. It adds kind of a background for the guitar solo and the riff that comes towards the back of the song. So, that's my choice for today. Green Desert Tree is the name of the band. The album is called Fighting Dragons Continued. Really nice cover to the album. Was going to order it, and then I got on there to order it and realized it wasn't going to come till late in July, and I didn't want to really kind of have to deal with that problem, so I backed off it and bought the Gong album instead, which will come next week or in early June, which would be nice. So that's the album. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please hit the like and subscribe. If you want to make any comments about this particular band or about the album, you can do that. Anything that you might add would be great. It looks to me like they're stationed out of Berlin, Germany, but not necessarily German. So that's my take on it. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Take care. Have yourself a good evening, and goodbye here from the Prog Monster.